All right, everybody, we are live on YouTube and in our Facebook group. I have our first returning guest. This is Sam Carlson, the co-founder of Uphex. He was also our first one inside the group live. So welcome back, Sam. We're glad to have you. And today we want to talk a little bit about the new Google integration within Uphex.
Cool. Thanks for having me, Jenna. I'm
Yeah, of
happy.
course.
I was numero uno. That's right. So
Yes.
thank you so much. And way to keep sticking with it. You
Yeah.
know, I know that when you're creating content and especially when you're building like the foundations of a community, so a channel, like a Facebook group, the very beginning is like terrible because you feel like nobody's there. You know, I remember with the Uphex YouTube channel, I remember it took me, I think it took me like 10 months to get 500 subscribers to that channel. And my buddy who has a YouTube channel, he does pretty good. He's got a lot of subscribers. He goes, 500 is the number. I said, well, what do you mean? He goes,
Really.
500. Once you hit 500, he goes, the first 500 are as hard to get as the next 5,000. I'm like, really? And he was so right because it took us 10 months to get 500. And the Facebook community was about that same amount of time, right? Just kind of building the community alongside of the channel.
Hmm.
And it took like another 10 months to go from there to I don't think it was 5,000, but I think we got to 4,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel in about 10 more months.
Well,
And both the community and the community, so the Facebook group and the YouTube channel kind of tracked alongside each other.
interesting.
Um, and now the YouTube channels, I think we'll hit 11,000 subscribers here next week, something like that, right? So, but that's 200. Let me see, 228 videos.
Wow.
228 videos, being very engaged. So kudos. How long have you? When was this that we did our first interview?
It was July or August, one of the two.
Okay, so yeah, that was that 4 months, 5 months, 5 months
Um, this is
ish,
March. This is
ish.
Marchish. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
good job.
7, 8. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited for you.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun and a learning curve for sure.
Yeah. So you want to talk some Facebook? You want to talk some Google? You want to talk some shop? What do you want to talk? You want to talk everything? What do you want to talk?
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the new integration for Google, and then maybe a little bit
Okay.
about how you tie it in with sales, um, or how you see people selling it and creating good offers within Uphex and high level combo.
Okay. So I always tell people that back in the day, when I was running my agency and I was just full bore agency, Facebook was the product that I sold. Google was the product that I got asked about. Right. And so we were really like so we would run both. Like pre Uphex, my agency, we would run both Facebook and Google. And there's a lot of benefits to Google. There's also benefits to Facebook, but the people who come in and like the local businesses that use Google love Google. So if you pick good clients, your your churn is less of a concern. Excuse me. Um, but so Google was always on the roadmap. But for us, one of the big challenges for Google, the technical setup for Google, everybody thinks that Facebook is technically, it's hard to set up, whatever, like a lot of buttons you have to push. And we pretty much bulldoze that over with Uphex. Um, Google is a beast when it comes to the technical side. And when it comes to tracking, attribution, all those kind of things, that's the real beast. And so we started the build out a while ago, but it actually sat on the shelf. And it sat on the shelf for two reasons. Number one, we wanted to focus on Facebook and make sure that we didn't lose the simplicity of it and we
Hmm.
didn't lose the outcomes, right? In 2023, we did 1.7 million leads. The average cost per lead was $12.18. Now, here's a really fun one for you. a bulk, like probably 80% of those outcomes came from brand new lead generation people, like people brand new to Facebook ads. Okay. So uh, that to me is a feather in the cap to our team, making it so even people who are new could come in and
Mhm.
have those outcomes for their clients, right?
Yes.
Which is a really big deal for us. And so we're always trying to do two things: simplify it. Like we don't want to add. There are things that we do have to add, right? But we don't want to make it overly complex. All right. So there's that. So we want to make it simple. We also want to make it so like the default settings are best practices towards getting the outcome. So even
Mhm.
if you're new, if you go in and on a template, you click standard, it's set up properly. Okay. It's set up properly. Right. You don't got, you're drafting off of decades of experience of media buyers that have done a lot of this. All right. And because of that, we won 1 out of 3 SaaSpreneur awards last year. Like,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, I'm not me, but agencies
Yeah.
using Uphex plus HighLevel won 1 out of 3. That was our first full run year in the SaaSpreneur column, right? So that to me is awesome. So when we layered on Google, and I don't want to get too wordy here, but I feel like some of this context is important. When we layered on Google, we're like, we can't lose simplicity. We can't make it overly technical, um, because that's going to take away the primary user base, which currently, right now, today, the primary user base are people who are getting started with their
Mhm.
agency, people trying to get off the ground. And so we sat around for a long time putting this thing on the shelf, mostly because it's like, well, I don't see a way to make this actually simple but also get outcomes. Because we could have made it simple. Oh, launch a campaign. And that wasn't the issue. It was Google needs data to update to, um, like, you need attribution to make sure the campaign works. Right. And that was a big question mark for us until it wasn't. Now, there are a couple of things that we haven't yet rolled out. And I'm going to keep them a little bit tiny hush hush, if that's okay. Only because we get like everybody, like we got copycats now. They want to just draft off of what we have built and what we know. And so we're going to be coming out with a couple things here in the next month to 2 months that will really blow people's brains. Like they won't even. Right now, you can launch a performance max campaign in Uphex in like 30 seconds. It's crazy. All right. But we got some other cool stuff coming. So long story short, Facebook ads, you can launch them in 30 seconds and have great outcomes. Google ads right now, you can actually take your winning campaigns from Facebook, click one button, convert it to a Google, and you can start running that same campaign on Google now. So
Wow.
pretty cool. And it's, man, I tell you what, we got like the best team ever, because honestly, without people that, like, without Jake, without Brad, without the people that have actually been in the agency game and have
Mhm.
bought so much, like have spent so much money in ad spend for local businesses, we wouldn't have been able to do this. No way. No way.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's my podium. That's it.
I love it. Yeah, there's a lot. It sounds like that you guys have made both so simple.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love how you can transfer it from your great Facebook ad all the way into Google.
So it's funny because when we built our Facebook ad library, which I can show you that. Do you want me to show you any of this?
Yes.
Okay. Let me do that. Share screen. And then we will share entire screen.
Yeah, I love the fact that you all have that great library of ads tools, of the templates for your ads.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So to build out this library, which I don't know if you saw this, but do you know Rob Bailey? Of course you know Rob Bailey,
Yeah.
right? He put in his whole library too. So Rob is just like me, right? Or in other words, he knows that in order to crush it, you have campaigns that you use over and over and over again, right? And so he uploaded his entire ad library from his coaching program that he did for years that people paid for. He uploaded it here, which is really cool. So anybody can come in and get his library, get all these things, right? So with Uphex, we are basically saying, come in if you're in the health and fitness niche and you want to help people promote their gym. Here's Google templates. Here's Facebook templates. Come import all of these into your ad library, which the one that says my templates, that is the library that you as an agency would be reselling to customers. All right. So I'll show you my templates here. Go to Facebook. So we can go into any of these niches, to any of the niches here, right? Let's say we've got dentistry right here. Okay. Let's say I want to run Facebook ads to get braces. Well, here's a campaign that we'll preview this. Here's a campaign that you can select the ad and run it, and off it goes. All right. Now, if you want to do that on Facebook, it's super simple. You just follow the next 2 clicks, boom, it's done. But if you want to do it for Google and you don't have it in our Google library yet, you just click on the details and you hit this little button, rewrite with Google.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And it does so we'll just say test. All right. Select the category. We don't have to do anything. It's actually already doing it. In fact, I didn't even have to, I forgot. You don't have to rename it. It renames it. It does everything for you. So continue to add text. It's all here. All your headlines, all your long headlines. Okay. All your descriptions, your ad media. Now you can add different ad media. It has, so in the ad media, it will prompt you to put in the proper dimensions here if they're not in your Facebook ad campaign already. But if they're in your Facebook campaign already, it'll port them over. But at this step, I would say drag over some or add 5 images. So 5 images for each. Okay.
Wow.
Right. And then audience signal. Audience signal is your targeting, effectively, like your keywords. It's got all of that. Boom. Save template. And now you have this brand new template in your ad library. Done.
Wow.
I'm going to go ahead and delete this because I don't have time to put the images in. My team will be like, hey, why is there this template in here? We had somebody that wanted to launch it. They're very upset. So that's how easy it is, right? Pretty slick.
That is. And how have you guys integrated AI into the whole thing?
Let me get back to our screen so I can see you. Yeah. So AI is, how do I say this delicately? AI is being sold as the silver bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I think this makes sense. Like what I can do with AI and what Jacob, my partner, can do with AI are not the same things, right? He's very much smarter than I am. So when we use AI, our approach to AI is to say this needs to be a support for proven advertising assets. What does that mean? AI will not write and create ads from stem to stern for you that you can rely on every time. You must have the knowledge. You must know like what motivates your audience. You still have to know those things. And so if we abdicate all of that stuff to AI and we just run those ads and then we start getting really poor performance, then we're confused. We're like, oh, why? I thought, and you might blame it on Uphex, right? Oh, Uphex doesn't work because I wasn't getting these leads. Like, it has nothing to do with Uphex. It has to do with your shitty ads. Excuse me, that's French. It just put better ads there. Well, if you have good ads, Well, here's where AI can really come in and help you. One, it can help you quickly rewrite ads. Two, it can convert those ads into, I mean, that's AI that converted it into Google, right? And so
Yeah.
we're using AI to take the ad library that took us a very long time to assemble, and within a click, just convert it over to Google. Done, right? So that's AI. Ad optimization. We will have a lot of really cool optimizing artificial intelligence. So there's launching the campaign and there's maintaining performance.
Hmm.
Launch the campaign, dude, click the button, it launches. Easy. Well, what happens when you get 100 clients? And
Yeah.
we did that a lot last year because that's how you get the SaaSpreneur award.
Right.
Well, then we have one guy, uh, um, Joey Laurent Roux. It's French. See how fancy I am?
Yeah.
Joey Laurent Roux. Joey, I hope I didn't butcher your name, buddy. But we did a case study, and I'm like, dude, I can't say your name. I sound so stupid. Um, but that dude is, I don't know how many clients he's over 300 grand a month in monthly recurring revenue, just
Wow.
crushing it. And so his big problem now is just optimizing campaigns, right?
Hmm.
And so we've got a lot of really cool things, including a partnership with GTM Spark that helps people out with that right now. And anyway, so we're using it to remove redundancy, right? Anywhere where a task is redundant, that means we can automate or use artificial intelligence to reduce the workload. But we should always have a person that is there to evaluate decisions and make
Yeah.
sure that we're not, because the worst thing you can do as an agency is to look at a problem as a symptom, right? Like, oh, this symptom, and then come up with a solution for the symptom. No, you need to look at the cause of the problem, then come up with a solution for the cause, right?
Hmm.
That's how you keep things simple, and that's how you make sure that you're still crushing it. So AI, I think, um, and it's getting better. Like AI is getting better, right? We're using AI more in images now, which again is hit and miss sometimes. Uh, but today, I think it just removes redundancy, makes everything streamlined and fixed, and just makes you way more leveraged.
Yeah.
We got a lot of tools in there that we're using it with, but we roll it out based on whether or not it's good practices. Or in other words, I don't want to put something inside of Uphex for a wow factor. If it
Yeah.
doesn't do the job, it doesn't go in,
I love that.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I love that. And then can we talk sales? Like, what do you see for agency owners that is working really well for like offers that
yeah,
are converting for sales purposes, not necessarily for the ads portion, but for like getting people in the door to start using their high level and Uphex solution?
yeah. So I would say that if you go to any business on the planet, okay, for the most part, if you say, if I could help you get more customers, would you be interested? They're going to say yes.
Right.
Okay. And the problem with most, in fact, I just posted in our Facebook group today. I don't know if you saw it. Neil Patel posted uh, on his X, formerly Twitter
Hmm.
account, like last week, um, some data that was published. And it showed where these Fortune 500 companies are getting their customers. And it's not from content, right? It's all from paid ads. So if you offer paid ads that work, your customers are going to be interested because it gives them the one thing that they want: new customers. There's only three ways to grow a business: new
Hmm.
customers, charge more frequently. That's it.
Hmm.
Okay. That's the only thing you can do. And so if I can pull one of those levers, then I can garner the interest of a customer. So get more customers using proven ads that they can launch in seconds and do it without the overhead of an agency and without the expertise of an agency. That is a hook that pretty much is appealing to any niche. right? So what people are generally doing and how those SaaSpreneur awards are getting won is they will approach the market that way. Okay. They will say, hey, roofing companies, you know how you've had to rely on expensive marketing agencies to get your pipeline full of qualified leads? Here's a software that replaces them, does it for a fraction of the cost, and will save you time, money. You can do it in just 3 clicks, right? You got 3 clicks in the headline, right?
Yeah. And so they're taking off their agency hat and putting on their SaaS hat and kind of separating the two for the most if somebody is like
Yeah.
already in
They,
that avenue.
yeah, they don't position it as an agency. They say,
Yeah.
we're the anti-agency. We actually give you a tool that will give you the same result, if not better. And by the way, it is better. Like every metric we have shows that it works better than an agency for local lead generation. Okay. Uh, it doesn't misspell ads. It doesn't mess up in targeting. It performs the same functions, successful functions over and over and over again perfectly. Your SMMA agency that's doing that as a service, you can't say those things, those same things, right? And we have the data to back it up. It does better overall performance anyway. So, and this is coming from a person that I feel like I mean, I did the SMMA model for 5 or 6 years. I feel like I should probably kind of know,
Yeah.
you know.
And I love that you guys all come from the background of like knowing um, you know, what it looks like, what it feels like to be an agency owner.
Yeah, like all of it's funny because I find myself sharing that story of our case study with people all the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And it's mostly because, okay, so that case study I think was published towards the end of 2018. I had been in the business almost 4 years by then. That's 4 years of thinking I was doing it right.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 years. And when I say thinking I was doing it right, well, we had a published case study, so you were doing it right. Uh, when they published our case study, they showed 3 campaigns, 2 generic campaigns, and then 1 niche specific campaigns. The 2 generic campaigns got a ton of leads and the lead cost was low, but they didn't make very much money to the business. The
Mm.
specific campaign, the niche specific, the ad costs were higher, but it made all the money. And so Jacob and I looked at each other like, we're about making money for these businesses. Let's ditch these and focus only on this. And so we took our entire ad library, we got rid of everything broad, generic, and only went after the very niche things. And dude, everything with our agency got better. Everything. The
Hmm.
customers that we attracted, they got better because instead of saying, hey, we're going to get you X customers, we weren't getting those customers. We were getting a different customer, a more specialized customer. So
Hmm.
the customers that we got were better. They were more qualified anyway. So that was better. Their results were better. It just worked better, right? Everything
Yeah.
was better. Um, so that was 4 years of thinking I was doing it right. And then once that case study, and I shared the case study so much, not because, hey, I had a case study published by Facebook. I mean, there is an element of that. Come on, let's be honest. But because the lesson that I learned in there is like what you all of you should do this. It's the same for me in the doctor medical space as it is in roofing, as it is in lawyers, as it is in real estate, as it is in mortgage, insurance. Doesn't matter. It is the same formula over and over again that everybody should be using, right? And I think that's the goal. That's why I do take every opportunity to share it that I can.
Yeah, that's great. We have a question, it looks like, in the chat. Can you see it? It says, I
Hold
know
on.
this is GHL related, but what about regular clients that are not using GHL or using another SaaS?
Yeah. So you can launch Facebook ads directly from Uphex, and you don't have to have HighLevel, but you can't offer it as a SaaS. Or in other words, you as an agency can launch ads on behalf of your customers, but for them to launch their own, you have to have HighLevel. If that answers the question, am I answering the question? I feel
I
like
think
that's
so.
the question.
Related clients that are not using GHL or using another SaaS. Yeah, I think that sums it up. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that you answered that well.
Thank you for the question, Facebook
Yeah.
user.
Yeah, that was from John Marks. I just pulled it up on my other screen. I love
Thank
having
you,
two
Sarah.
screens.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So another thing I want to talk about is there any offers that you can share that so I know you talked a little bit about like or about maybe pricing wise. You probably see anything from like 297 up to like 797 is like what I would guess. What are
Yeah.
some good pricing structures you feel like that are people starting at?
Yeah. I'll give you, because you asked two questions. What's the offer? And then
Yeah.
what's the pricing that you charge to
Yeah, I
the
know we just
customer?
talked about the
So,
offer a little bit already. So that's why I
yeah,
rephrased
well,
it.
so I'd say this. So if you lead with the way I led, right? Hey, roofing contractor that wants qualified leads without the expense of an agency, get a free a 2-week demo. That's the easiest thing, right? Because it's like, let me prove this before you pay for it. Okay. Um, we have a case study on YouTube, Trevor Briggs. He went from
Yeah.
0 to $70,000 revenue per month doing that one thing. So don't overthink it.
Doing just
Just
Uphex
doing
with
Uphex
high
plus
level?
HighLevel and
Yeah.
doing free demos, not free demos,
Free
14-day
trials?
trials. Yeah. And the thing is, so the way you actually deliver the 14-day free demo is you get on a demo call. Like it's a call, like it's a sales call. And you go through the whole thing. And it was hilarious because he's like, I did offer on the ad a 14-day free trial, but everybody on the demo call, I took them through the demo and they just paid up front. And I just guaranteed it for 14 days. Right? Hey, if you're not happy about this in 14 days, you can get your money back. Right? So it's all terms. So that is the pricing. I'm sorry,
I
that is
like
the
doing it
offer.
that I
The
like the
price,
idea of doing it that way. Like,
yeah.
there's a 14-day guarantee and maybe not a 14-day free trial. Because
Yeah. If
people
you're
have
not
to pay
happy,
attention,
that's right.
I feel like. Because if
Yeah.
people aren't paying it from what I've seen, if people aren't paying up front, they don't even do anything with it.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's absolutely right. So that's how you structure it. Those are the terms
I
of the
like that.
offer.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the actual pricing, so pricing is going to be based always on the niche. Okay. One of the reasons you want to go very sub niche, that also implies that you're going very specialized. So who makes more money, the specialist or the generalist? The
Mhm.
specialist. Specialist makes more money. So if you're able to make a specialist more money, then you get a chunk of that. If you're working for a generalist, they're going to have all sorts of problems. Like I'll give you an example. You're working with a chiropractor versus you're working with a chiropractic clinic that offers non-surgical joint pain solutions. Okay.
Mhm.
Those are two separate things. I happen to know that marketplace pretty well. Those are
Yeah.
two separate things, right? Uh, you can make the guy that's doing the specialized stuff like $5,000 or $6,000 per case. You can make the other guy like $500 to $1,000 per case. Who do you think you can charge more money to?
Mhm.
Right? That's just
Yep.
common sense. So
Yes.
actually, the 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 real answer to this question about how do you price your SaaS, if I told you 497 a month, that would take out of the equation value. Okay. You have to establish what is the actual level of value I'm creating for my customer and then price accordingly. We have another guy, uh, Hervin. I love Hervin. Hervin, if you're watching this, buddy, if you ever watch this, I love you. And he crushes it in the dance studio niche. Like dance, like he's got dance studio people, and he charges not as much. I can't remember what it is, but he charges weekly too. But it's like less. It's like
Weekly.
little, yeah. It's very
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
But he charges it based on how their business works. And it's like smaller
Oh.
chunks every
Yeah.
week. And he retains people for forever.
Yeah.
Right. And so for him, he's like, I can charge people less because my retention is crazy,
Yeah.
right? Um, so there are too many variables to say, oh, price it like this.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, and I hesitate to say this because I don't want people to just go out and say $497 is what Sam said. That seems like kind of a go-to number. So 397, 497 seems like where a lot of people go. But if you're going to do that, get paid more up front. That's how you're going to grow, right? So charge an onboarding setup fee and then start rebilling as soon as you can.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great idea. And I think in a webinar I watched that you did one time, you bundled it up for like 3 months up front.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we teach when you're getting started, right? The better your ad library gets, the more results you get, the more you can change that, right? But you have to have a place to start. Like everybody needs a
Yes.
place to start. And so charging $1,500, for example, up front for 3 months access, and then 397, 497 month to month after that is good. And the reason that getting paid up front, it works on both sides. The first
Mhm.
side is it gives you cash up front,
Right.
so it validates a sale. The second reason is you sell a finish line. Okay. So your customers, um, when they pay month to month at the very beginning, they just feel like all I do is pay month to month forever. But when you sell a finish line, or in other words, what you're going to receive in these first 3 months is the following. You're going to get, access to the
Mhm.
platform. We're going to show you how to do this. You're going to start getting leads. You're going to start, and you deconstruct your offer and show these are all the things that you're going to accomplish, and then this is the time frame that's going to get you. So you're not going to have to pay again until the end of month 3. And so for them, that's an outcome, right? So
Mhm.
you sold the finish line. And if you can do that, and they're like, dude, we got to the finish line, then they'll stick around. They'll be with you.
I love that. All right. Does anybody else have any more questions?
Any more
Look on.
questions?
uh, All right. Well, I don't think I see any. I'll check YouTube real quick.
Are we across all channels?
Just Facebook and YouTube today.
Fancy. Very
Did you
good.
get a lot of like influx of questions when the outage was last week? It was like right before I was supposed to go live last week, and so we're like, "Oh, let's just reschedule." I was like, "Okay."
I'm actually really surprised. I didn't see hardly any, like, it didn't disconnect the Facebook API.
Yeah.
So Uphex didn't have any disruptions. Um, but it was personally kind of weird because I'm like, man, I got to reset my password. What the crap? And I didn't know what was going on. And so I went through, I'm like, this is the same code. This is the same code.
Yeah.
So then I started looking around. I'm like, wait a minute, something's going on. So it was
Yeah,
all
it
right.
was
No, it
interesting.
wasn't. It wasn't
I
bad.
don't think I've ever, not that I can remember anyway, seen Facebook do that I can remember. I'm sure it's happened, but I can't remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember anything like that specifically. I feel like something like that happened with Power Editor back in the day, but I can't remember.
Oh, interesting. Well, thanks for coming on with this again, Sam, and thanks for talking all your sales knowledge and agency
Yeah.
knowledge. Sure appreciate it. And if anybody wants to sign up for a free trial of Uphex, I have put it in the chat, and I will also throw it in the Facebook group. Um, Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Jenna.